What up? This your boy Crisscross 304 checking in. It's that time. UFC Greenville main card is underway. We got 5 fights here in the main card. First one happening right now in the middleweight division. Kevin Holland, 14-4, takes on Alessio Di Chirico, 12-2. Again, this is in the middleweight division. Also keep in mind that bantamweight fight between John Lineker and Rob Font was canceled, which has led to that was your co-main event, by the way, fight number 2. And that has led to a shift here in the main event. But right now, Kevin Holland, again, 14-4 versus Alessio Di Chirico. And the referee is meeting with the fighters in the middle of the ring. Referee Blake Grice. And round 1 is getting ready to kick off here. 3-rounder. Earlier, Jair Zinho Rozenstruik made UFC history with a 9-second knockout in the first round. And considering both fighters touched gloves before the knockout, it was literally like a 4-second knockout. 1 punch, and the fight was over. So this fight's underway. Holland in black trunks, Di Chirico in green, and Holland is all over him already with a kick to the face, drives him back into the fence. And now they're tied up, and both of these boys are big boys. Again here in the middleweight division. Again, both fighters very good, 14-4 and 12-2, but neither fighter is yet ranked. You got to think the winner of this fight will be ranked in the top 15 when the new rankings do come out. Not much has changed here. Both fighters tied up. Holland's got Di Chirico tied up on the fence using his body weight, a couple knees to the stomach and a couple jabs to the ribs, but nothing much doing here early on. Again, a lot of height for both fighters. 355 left here in the first round. A lot of height for both of these fighters, and this can go either way. This is another intersection fight left to right. Will you win and get ranked, or will you lose and have to take another 2, 3, 4 fights to win in order to get back into the rankings? That's the situation for both of these fighters. So both looking very serious. There's blood all over the ring already from earlier knockouts in the prelims, and that will only get worse as these fights continue. And a big punch by Holland right to the face of Di Chirico. It didn't phase him at all, but a big left-hand punch right to his face. Now a kick by Di Chirico to Holland's leg. Ooh, and big punches now, left, right, and the left to Holland's face by Di Chirico, and Holland's a little bit stunned here, but they're still squared up in the middle of the ring. Not enough to hurt Holland. And another big left and right to Holland's face by Di Chirico once again. 250 left here, round number 1. And between fights, we'll take you back to the music and show you the screen and update. Usually fights last anywhere from 3 minutes to 15 minutes. And then you have a good 15-minute break in between fights, which you'll hear music and see updates from both the prelims and the main card.
I'm really in the mood. I like your attitude. Wanna chill tonight? Go out and see the fight. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather.
Fighters tied up against the fence once again. Some big shots just moments ago, but now the fans are booing a little bit as both fighters continue just to tie up on the fence. And really, it's Holland trying to tie up Di Chirico. Now Di Chirico spins him around. Now it's Holland that's tied up against the fence. Holland looking for the chokehold, not able to secure it. Not much action happening right now as the fans continue to let the fighters hear. They want to see more punches, a couple big shots, again, moments ago, but this fight has definitely had moments where not much has happened. Now, a big right hand by Di Chirico, and that's probably a good reason why Holland has him tied up. He certainly has knockout power, does Di Chirico, again in the green shorts. In the prelims, most of the fights went decisions. You had 2 fights that led to knockouts, but the fights did eat up most of the TV time on ESPN2. But they had to spread those fights out with Rob Font and John Lineker being canceled. That led only from 12 fights to 11. We're in fight number 5 now, so there's only 4 fights left after this one, and that'll be it for UFC Greenville. While you're listening, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and visit us on Instagram at crisscross304 or at thecommunity50. Big right hand by Di Chirico to Holland's face, and now Holland looks to tie him up again, and I don't know how much longer Holland's going to be able to take this punishment, and now he gets knocked to the ground. He gets back up. Holland's in big trouble. Di Chirico teeing off on him now, left, right. Now it's Holland with a knee, a jump knee to the head. Now Di Chirico takes him down, and Holland is certainly phased here. And he recognizes the power from Di Chirico now for sure, and that's why he was trying to tie him up. Now it's Di Chirico on top of him throwing punches with only 5 seconds left here in the first round. And another right and left that did not connect by Di Chirico, and Holland saying, "Come get me." But I'll tell you what, I don't think he really believes that in his head. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with round number 2.
Feel the po-po when they knocking at your door. Can you feel the po-po when they creeping real slow? People wake up and learn to be free. Come on, get up, just stand on your feet. There's a price to be free. Keep fighting, let's see a nation rising up together. One love for country. I love Trump but not police. I know confusing, but I never said I'm normal. Like a bee I might sting. Bring it on till the break of dawn. When the cops pull you over, sit back and yawn. Learn the law, know the law, then you feel so tall. When it gets disrespected, make the call. Everywhere I go, I see the po-po. Fucking with the people, can't seem to get enough. I can't take it no more. Everywhere I go, I see the po-po. Fucking with the people, can't seem to get enough. I can't take it no more. Everywhere I go, I see the po-po. Fucking with the people, can't seem to get enough. I can't take it no more. Everywhere I go, fuck the devil. I see the fuck the devil. Fuck the devil.
Okay, welcome back for round 2. Here between Holland and Di Chirico. And again, Holland taking some serious shots in round 1, and that's probably why his corner was asking him to tie up Di Chirico. And we'll see how this thing plays out in round 2, but Holland can certainly not afford to take too many more punches to the head the way he did in round 1, because that'll lead to a knockout for sure. Now it's Holland again, tying up Di Chirico on the fence, and he's certainly comfortable holding Di Chirico on the fence. Now he won't get a win that way, of course, but he will avoid getting knocked out. So definitely a defensive move by keeping the fighter tied up on the fence, protecting his face from his strong punches. When you're tied up on the fence, you can't wind up and throw a punch because your elbow is going to bang against the fence. So you can't get a solid, you can't cock back and throw a punch that way. And Holland is certainly aware of that. So if you're Holland, he's trying to tire out Di Chirico. Maybe he believes that he has more endurance than his opponent and looking to wear him down. Now it's Di Chirico listening to his corner, taking major knee shots and punches to the thigh, and Holland just simply working on his thighs and now stepping on his foot, which leaves obvious pain there for Di Chirico, and he's not going to be able to stand that too long. Di Chirico's body is certainly turning red at this point, but now he spins Holland against the fence. Now it's Di Chirico with the leverage, and we'll see if he can separate and start throwing those punches. Once again, a nice knee to the stomach there of Holland. 3:13 left in round 2. This is only a 3-round fight. If no one wins, they will go to the scorecard at the end of round 3 for another decision, which has been many decisions here at UFC Greenville. Now the fans are certainly not happy, as you can hear boos coming from the crowd as these two fighters are just tying each other up.
I'm just waiting on my master. I'm just waiting to be raptured.
It's quite obvious that Di Chirico does have knockout power. Here he comes. He's separated now. Now he's throwing punches again. Holland's in trouble. And now the fighters tie up once again. But this time it's Di Chirico tying up and now getting pinned against the fence. And you got to wonder what his strategy is in terms of wanting to tie Holland up, because when they step back and throw punches, Di Chirico certainly and obviously has the advantage. And now they separate again, and a big elbow by Di Chirico. Now a big left hand. Holland's covering up, but he can't continue. Now a couple leg kicks between each fighter. No damage done. Now it's Holland throwing some punches, but when you see Holland punch, he does not have that knockout power that Di Chirico does. So both fighters standing in the center of the ring. Again, blood all over the ring, and now a big tackle, football style, there by Holland. Di Chirico gets right back up, and now he's pinned against the fence once again. And we'll see whose strategy plays out. Now a big elbow there by Di Chirico. They're separated. Holland showing obvious signs of pain, looking at the ref, wanting a stoppage. He doesn't get it. Now a left and a right to the face.
Man, yeah, they put a motherfucker in jail. Say what? Black man, yeah, pay us $500 and you out on bail. Black man, yeah.
Both fighters tied up once again. Round 2, 1:20 to go. Basically only 6 minutes left in this fight before it would go to the decision, and we'll have to wait and see how this thing plays out here in the next 6 minutes or so.
The judge set your bail and it's time to pay up. CO's always got that itch, so pay your fucking money, bitch. Blackmail these motherfuckers all day.
Under 1 minute here, round 2. Again, you got Di Chirico in green shorts, Holland in black trunks. And both fighters are just trading punches. If Holland can close this round out, he could tie this thing 1-1 going into the third. But again, Di Chirico certainly has that knockout power, and a big right hand by Holland. There you go. He's got to close out here in the last 30 seconds, or he'll go into round 3 down 2-0 on at least 2 out of 3 scorecards. I can't see that any of the judges will give him a round here in the first 2 rounds. But if you finish it strong, now a big left hand by Di Chirico, and Holland is certainly tired and hurt at the same time. And it appears his strategy from the get-go was to tire out Di Chirico, but it ends up being the other way around. And I'm not sure if this fight will lead to a knockout, but certainly Di Chirico has that power, and a big right hand to the face. Now a jump knee by Holland ended the round. And now once again, Holland's talking smack at the end of the round, but he's the one getting his face beat in. So it's kind of funny to see that. It seems like he wants to fight more when the bell rings to end the round than he does during the fight. So stay tuned. We'll be right back for round number 3. Di Chirico, Holland.
Black man, pay us $500 and you out on bail. Black man, they put a motherfucker in jail. Black man, pay us 50 grand and you out on bail. Black man, they put a motherfucker in jail. Black man, pay us $500 and you out on bail. Black man, they put a motherfucker in jail. Black man, pay us 50 grand and you out on bail. Black man, they put a motherfucker in jail. Black man, pay us $500 and you out on bail.
Fuck you, Your Honor. 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 Fuck you, Your Honor.
Hello?
Fuck you, Your Honor.
Have you ever heard of Conor McGregor? He's like the greatest fighter ever.
Conor McGregor.
Welcome back to round 3, Holland, Di Chirico. A little delay there as the doctor was checking on Holland, and to me it appears he doesn't want to fight. Almost looking to get a stoppage, which would lead to a draw, I would believe, unless they go to the scorecards. I'm not quite sure how that works, really, and only a 3-round fight. But nonetheless, the doctor said Holland is good, and they're back in the ring now. 4:20 left in this fight as both fighters circle around the ring. And again, Di Chirico with some serious knockout power, despite not yet getting a knockout, obviously. But I think that's certainly bothering Holland, who tries to keep tying up Di Chirico. Again, this is a middleweight fight. Both fighters with many more wins than losses, and both fighters looking to get the win and get ranked. And the fans are beginning to get loud and restless because there's not much action here. Now the ref stops the fight. Now they continue. 3:40 left in round 3, final round. Before it goes to the scorecards. And now the big punches going both ways. Both fighters connecting on big punches. And if you had to guess, you believe that Holland would have to get a knockout here to win. Looks like he's down 2-0. And maybe not a knockout, but at least 2 10-8s on the judges' scorecards. Because it appears to me that Di Chirico has certainly won both of the first 2 rounds, although an argument can be made in round 2. This is fight number 5. 4 fights to go after this. Remember the headliner, Moicano versus Sung Jung. That's number 5 versus number 12 in the featherweight division. Nice. Holland with a big kick to the leg there. 2:48 to go. Round 3. It's time for him to fight. Win it all costs tonight. It's time for him to fight. Lock him in a cage tonight. Some serious punches being thrown again by Di Chirico throughout this fight, but he hasn't connected on all of them. It's clear that he's got more of the knockout type of power, but it's going to be interesting to see how the judges score this fight. And I don't think if you're either guy, you can play it safe. Now, big kick to the head by Holland. Because even if you're Di Chirico, who appears to be winning the fight, it may not be enough on the judges' scorecards. All it takes is 1 or 2 judges to go the other way. And this could easily be a draw or a split decision for either fighter. Big punch there by Di Chirico to Holland's head. No damage done. 150 to go, round 3.
Look at the crowd, it's about to erupt. Russia, Russia, cries from afar. Never heard of them until Trump went hard. Listen up, no divisions from within. We just spit in ideas as we head for the win. Christian Holmes, stand up, speak again. Come together right now, progress from within.
128 to go here, round 3. And you hear some dead spaces in my voice because there's really nothing going on. And the fans are urging the fighters to punch each other. I mean, that's what you're here for. But the fighters continue to circle. In the first 2 rounds, they tied each other up along the fence many times. And if you're a fan, you almost hope the judges say, hey, guess what? Nobody wins this fight. But that's not going to happen. Someone will win, unless there's a draw, of course. 1 minute to go, round 3. And then it will go to the judges' scorecards. Holland does not seem very aggressive. Di Chirico probably thinks he's winning the fight and no reason to take any chances. With 45 seconds left in this fight.
Going hard, gotta win by a landslide. Kanye West, kinda sounds like a brainchild. Candace Owens, conservative warrior, spitting words so bold, sound like a bull terrier. Home runs, Trump strikes back, empires on.
And lots of boos now coming from the crowd for obvious reasons. There's a couple punches thrown here and there, but a lot of dancing around, a lot of tying each other up. And in fact, this might be a tough situation for the refs to make a decision. Now Di Chirico trying to show something here with a tackle to the ground. Takes Holland down. And he's close to a full mount, but he won't get there. And Holland works his way back to his feet now with an elbow to the back of the head. Ooh, and a nice move there by Holland at the end of the fight. Kind of striking the fighter on both sides of his head for a good 5 seconds. And now Holland is grabbing his shoulder in obvious pain. Something must have happened to that shoulder throughout the fight. And to stay tuned for the judge's decision. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for that decision right after this.
President Trump, move over Satan or back that thing up. Listen up. We saved? I'm spitting truth, you can get it if you want to. Undress your sin, ask him it's possible. Running through the field, well equipped for battle. Praise his name, make sure it's no hassle. Don't tell a lie, he can read your mind. Say the wrong thing and it's best you hide. Feel his wrath at the end of the ride. Must be forgiven or in Christ you die. No jokes here, let's encounter the light. Keep him in view, can't lose your sight. Jesus saves lives with all his might. All his might, all his might. How do you feel after you've been saved? Like a champion who just got paid. Like a mob boss who's just been made. Like a little kid who got a good grade. Shout it out. We save. Jump for joy. We save. Make some noise. We save. We save. We save. Shout it out. We save.
Okay, welcome back. This fight's going to the scorecards. All three judges with a unanimous decision. And it looks like, whoa, the fight goes to Kevin Holland. Totally shocked. I'm totally shocked, just like Di Chirico is shocked. Judges said unanimous decision. Di Chirico's putting his hands up. I believe he won the fight unanimously, but the officials go the other way. And the fans are booing like crazy. I'm not quite sure what they saw here in Kevin Holland. He took some serious shots, and all he did was tie up Di Chirico and complained about his shoulder the whole fight. But nonetheless, Kevin Holland wins. He'll move to 16-4, and he's now on a 3-fight win streak. So that's the situation. Kevin Holland gets the victory. And as they show the replay, I mean, Di Chirico was pummeling Kevin Holland. And I'm not quite sure, again, what fight the judges were watching. But, you know, they're judges for a reason. I'm not a judge. I just watched the fight like a fan, but it's clear to me that the other guy won. I just don't know how there's a unanimous decision by all three. That means all three judges gave all 3 rounds to Kevin Holland, which is clearly, I mean, I'm not a judge again, but clearly not the case. Nonetheless, Kevin Holland gets the victory. And next up, I'm telling you now, is going to be the fight of the night between Andrea Lee, number 10 in the women's flyweight division, taking on Montana. So just listening to what they have to say here about the previous fight. But nonetheless, again, next up, Andrea Lee versus Montana De La Rosa. You got a 10-2 fighter ranked number 10 versus a 10-4 fighter ranked number 11. And this will probably, to me, probably be the best fight of the night, whether it's a knockout or decision, whatever. These two ladies are going to go at it, looking very serious in the weigh-in and the face-off, because the winner will certainly move up in the rankings. And you know, another fight or two, if they continue rising after a win here, could lead to a championship fight at some time within the next year. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But stay tuned. We'll be right back with you after this 10 to 15 minute break. Stay tuned.
Keeping me safe each day as I fight.